Exosisters are back and better than before. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. The first list we're going to be looking at is an actual Exosister list for the first time in a long time. I'm actually super excited to get the chance to talk about this because this is one of my favorite concepts of a deck. Alright, the whole Misfit gang of sisters here, basically expelling out demons with their mode changes and just the constant abuse through Zeus. Getting the mech Exosister. Alright, so we have triple copies of Ash Blossom in Joyous Spring, one copy of Celestial with one copy of Dasher, one copy of Dinotherium, two copies of Elaine, triple copies of Elise. This is basically your forerunner for the deck. Triple copies of Sophia and triple copies of Stella. Then we have two copies of Ghost Ogre. OCG hand trap ratio is a little bit weird because better options available for some things here. We have one Lord of the Heavenly Sky Prison, triple copies of Maxi, one copy of the Exosister Aumento, triple copies of Exosister Pax, triple copies of Fusion Destiny, one copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, one copy of Super Polymerization, triple copies of Chainable Compulse, triple copies of Exosister Vadis, one copy of Infinite Permanence, one Solemn Judgment, and one copy of Solemn Warning here, wrapping up the main deck. Down here in the extra deck, we have one Verti Anaconda, one copy of the Trapeze Magician, two copies of Oshofiel, triple copies of Mikhail, two copies of Jabreen, and two copies of Caspitiel. And then we have one Zeus, one Starving Venom, one Mud, and one copy of Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Then we have one copy of Didi Crow, two copies of Nibiru, one Ghostbone Haunted Mansion, triple copies of Lightning Storm, triple copies of MST, one Raigeki, one Super Polymerization, and triple copies of Evenly Matched. Wrapping up a nice little take on Exosister. Next up here, this is basically Thunder Dragon Synchro Turbo with actually taking advantage of Chaos Nephthys. Cannot be normal summon set, must be special summoned by its own effect. If a card or cards on the field is destroyed by a card effect except during damage step, you can banish a light and dark monster from your graveyard to special summon Chaos Nephthys from your graveyard. Alright, it's pretty good. Or, if it was there, or hand, even if it was not. You can only use this effect Chaos Nephthys once per turn. This card special summon target one card your opponent controls and two cards in their graveyard and banish them. A lot to kind of unpack here with this, but you care about this for the interaction of destruction. Alright, so we have one Protos, two copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, one copy of the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, one Chaos Nephthys, one Didi Crow, one Deskbot 001, oh boy, Synchro Shenanigans, one Ghost Ogre, one Jet Synchron, two copies of Olion, one copy of Corridor, two copies of Stardust Synchron, two copies of Stardust Trail, triple copies of Thunder Dragon, triple copies of Thunder Dragon Dark, one Dragon Hawk, two copies of Dragon Roar, two Wyvern Buster wrapping up the monsters, triple Lure Darkness, two Called by the Grave, triple Chaos Space, two copies of Crossout Designator, one Gold Sark, one for one Stardust Illumination, two copies of Thunder Dragon Fusion, and one Starlight Road. Yes. Interactions, ladies and gentlemen. We have one Auroradon, one Nightmare Phoenix, one Nightmare Cerberus, one IP, one Hawk, one Access Code, one Archfiend, one copy of Herald, one Cupid Pitch, one Chaos Ruler, one Borreload Savage, one Baron de Fleur, one Titan, and two Titans, and one Colossus. Then we have one Alpha, one Didi Crow, one Drone Lockbird, one Effect Veer, one Fairy Tale Snow, one Ghost Bell, one Skullmeister, one Trap Eater, one Droplet, two Talents, one Evenly Matched, one Infinite Permanence, one Royal Decree, and one Solemn Reich. Wrapping up Thunder Dragon Turbo, I feel like. Next up here is another Despia list. Now, coming off of last week, we definitely got to enjoy a lot more of the interactions that Branded Fusion definitely brings to the table. So this will be another take for what you can do with your branded monsters. So we have one Ad Lithium, triple copies of Luber, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, two Tragedy, one copy of Dasher, one Denier, one Dramaturgia, triple copies of Fallen of Albaz, two Incredible Ecclesia, two copies of Maxi, two copies of Spriggan's Kit, two copies of the Tri-Brigade Mercurier, triple copies of Branded Fusion, two copies of Branded in Red, triple copies of Branded Opening, one copy of the Branded Servants, then we have two copies of Called by the Grave, one copy of the Despia Theater, one Foolish Barrel, two Forbidden Droplets, triple Fusion Destiny, and one copy of the branded Condemnation. We have one copy of Dragostapelia, two Mirror Ice Shade, two copies of Masquerade, two Libellium, two Guardian Chimera, one Destroyer, one Dangerous, one Quidardus, one copy of Brigand, and two copies of Albion. Then we have one Droll Lockbird, two copies of Effect Veiler, one Maxi, one Necro Banshee, one Nibiru, one Dark Ruler, one Harpy's Feather Duster, two Lightning Storm, two copies of Super Polymerization, one Zombie World, and two copies of Dimensional Barrier. Wrapping up another interesting take on the Despia archetype. Next up is Marincess. Now, I've been a little bit of a sucker kind of keeping track of what's going on with this deck, seeing the new innovations, and just the cool, exciting things that we got with the release of the Water Duelist pack. Did it make this deck tier 0? No. Did it push it to higher tier 2? Yeah, it did. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, one Ghost Spell in the Haunted Mansion, triple copies of Blue Tang, two copies of Pascalis, triple copies of Seahorse, one copy of the Little Sleepy Maiden, triple copies of Spring Girl, and we have triple copies of Maxi, two Nibiru, two copies of Called by the Grave, two Cosmic Cyclone, two Crossout Detonators, one Silent Mining, two copies of Forbidden Droplet, one Battle Ocean, two copies of Dive, two copies of Prosperity, triple copies of Goes and Match, one copy of Infinite Permanence, one Marincess Wave, and then we have one copy of the Transcode Talker, two copies of Splash Mage, two copies of Sea Angel, one copy of Bubble Reef, one Coral Triangle, two copies of Coral Anemone, two copies of Blue Slug, one Argonaut, one Axis Code Tucker, one Totally Awesome, and one Bahamut Shark. Then we have two Lancia, two Godarla, two Token Collector, two Dark Ruler No More, one copy of the Harpy's Feather Duster, triple evenly matched, one copy of Red Reboot, and two copies of Solemn Judgment here. Wrapping up another interesting take on Marincess. Basically, look at this deck as the access of water, alright? If anything happens to your big boss monster, you know, you can't really do much about that. You kind of just lose the game. Alright, next up here is Spiral. Oh my gosh, I really wish that we could mess around with Spiral and have Master Plan back, but no, TCG said not allowed. But this is what Spiral would look like if we actually had Illusion of Chaos. We have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, triple copies of Magician Souls, one copy Maxi, one Drone, one Last Resort, two copies of Master Plan, one Quick Fix, one Sleepy Boy, one Super Agent, two copies of Illusion of Chaos, one Called by the Grave, two Called by the Grave, one Card Destruction, two copies of Crossout Designator, one Dark Magical Veil, one Foolish Bill Goods, two Forbidden Droplets, one Instant Fusion, one Monster Reborn with 1-for-1, two copies of Preparation to Rites. Man, you can just search for your stupid Illusion of Chaos. One Big Red, one Assault, two copies of Resort, one Terraforming, triple copies of Where Art Thou, one Appointer, and triple copies of Rescue. We have one Tri-Gate Wizard, one Double Helix, one Selene, one Linkuriboh, one Nightmare Unicorn, one Phoenix with one Griffin, one copy of Cerberus, one Umbral, one copy of Curious, one Barricade Borg Blocker, one Apollosa, one Access Code, one Dual Hana, one Millennium Eyes. And then we have two copies of Lancia, two copies of Droll, one Godarla, two Maxi, one Token Collector, two Cosmic Cyclone, one Droplet, one Feather Duster, one Twin Twister, one Dimensional Barrier, and one copy of Red Reboot. Wrapping up Spiral. And last list we have for you guys is Fluffals! Yay! Guardian Chimera, by the way. We have one Lancia, two Ash, triple Edgimp Chain, one Edgimp Sabers, two Scythe, two copies of Bear, one Cat, triple copies of Doggo, one Dolphin, one Owl, triple copies of Penguin, one Sheep, two Wings, triple Maxi, two copies of Called by the Grave, two copies of Foolish Bro Goods, two Forbidden Droplets, one Fright for Fusion, two Patchwork, one copy of Repair, one Arby's Feathers, one Mass Change 2, triple Polymerization, triple copies of Toy Vendor, and one copy Red Reboot. Down here in the extract, we have one Verti Anaconda, one Dahark, one Cross Sheep, one Dagda, one Access Code, one Totally Awesome, one Bahamut Shark, one Darklaw, one Chimera, one copy of Tiger, two copies of Sabertooth, one copy of Kraken, and two copies of the Cruel Whale. Wrapping up your chunk of OCG deck profiles this week. I know there's a lot to kind of unpack here, but imagine if we actually had Magician's Soul and some of those cool, crazy, frickin' ideas that we could actually push out. Wouldn't that be quite the adventure, guys? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about these awesome, cool deck profiles, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on the day with some more cool, awesome content. You guys stay safe out there, alright? Peace out, guys. Have a good one. Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.